This is episode 17 of the Geno Show podcast. We're live out here in Byesville. We're on a remote here in Byesville. We didn't come to disrupt the peace. We came to bring it. It's Pride Month. We have rainbows everywhere. And we're going to have two very gay, friendly, and gay guests today. To my right is Andrew Hooks, who is my fellow board member on the ZANESVILLE Pride Group board. And to my left is Miss Mary Beth. She is on the board of Cambridge Main Street and pretty much captain of Guernsey County when it comes to anything. You'll see her everywhere, from the performing arts to the car shows to, just about anything and everything. I saw you at the radio station today. She's everywhere. So that being said, we're going to start close to home. We're going to get right into this because we are outside. There are live animals surrounding us at this time, and people also. Some may call them animals. It'll be nice. It's Pride Month. Mary Beth, you are a local here to Guernsey County.
Yes, born and raised.
You do a lot here in Guernsey County, and you are a supporter of the LGBTQIA plus community and pretty much an advocate for forging change here in our local community in the most friendly manner, I would say.
Yes. My best friend was Danny Harlow, and Danny taught me a lot of things in his short life. And one of the things he taught me was that to love everybody, regardless of sexual preference, how you view yourself, what your religion is, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, it's important for our county to welcome everyone. Doesn't matter. I don't care who you are, what you believe. You will always have a safe space and a friend in me.
That's beautiful. And, our county has been very conservative-minded. I think everybody knows that. I don't think it's new news. But times have changed, and I think a lot has changed in the ways of acceptance and the ways of love and compassion and understanding of lives and the different colors of lives that everyone lives. Wouldn't you say?
It has. We still have a long way to go. I work with the Cambridge Performing Arts Center. We brought Denise Richards in, drag queen extraordinaire. I love her to pieces. A legend. Sweetest person on this planet. When she comes in, you wouldn't even know it's her. Comes in overalls and hey dudes.
Yeah.
And we were very nervous the very first year we brought her in because, again, we're Bible Belt, conservative Republican county, and it's, are they going to burn the theater down? And we realized very quickly as the theater patrons started coming in, the median age was 65 women.
Wow.
And they loved every minute of her show, so much to the point that we had to bring her back this year. And we doubled the audience. Again, primarily 65-plus-year-old women coming to see this. And, we did have one couple that quite didn't understand until about the halfway mark, and then they put two and two together. They left. All they said was, she's a great entertainer, just not for us. And that was it. They left.
And that's cool.
And that's cool. That's what we want. We want folks to be like, we're going to experience it. Okay, it's not really our cup of tea. But they didn't make a big scene. They didn't come back. They didn't burn anything in front of the theater. And at the end of the day, the theater is a place that should be a safe place for anybody.
Absolutely.
As part of Dennis's show, a new queen come out. A very, very good friend of mine, Vince Vaughn. Hi. Sweetest person on this planet, wouldn't hurt a fly. And it was her first show, and she did phenomenal. And that's the kind of environment that I feel our county should be. It's okay to believe what you want to believe, but don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool that 2 years now. I didn't know it was 2 years until you just said that. I think it's cool that 2 years now you've had that. And the performing arts has been a safe haven for this community, for the LGBTQIA plus community. Before it was IA plus, and that's where they found solace. You know what I mean? That was their church. It was the art form. So it's it's a safe space, and it should be kept that way. Without fluidity and sexuality and things like that in the performing arts, we wouldn't have the elaborate creations that come out of it.
When I directed the kids show, we did Aladdin Jr. a couple of years ago, and one of the cast members come out as trans, and we sat the entire cast down and we said, look, we all know this person is this, but that's not who they are. We want you to treat them as Y. And the kids just took over and welcomed him with open arms, and it wasn't the kids that we had issues with, it was some of the parents. And after we sat down and said, look, we're all we're asking you to do is, she wants to be a he, that's it. Mm-hmm. She's a he. Say he, call him by his name, and that's it. And he has found a welcome, safe place where he can do what he loves to do, and that's act and sing and be somebody that he's not. And he's comfortable and surrounded by friends that support and love him. We all love everybody in our theater, and it should be a safe place.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's I can say this. I think it's difficult to tell parents what to do with their children. You know what I mean? I don't think, for me personally, that's not my space. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I don't foster children. I don't have children, so I don't really, there's no relation there for that. But, thank God for the people that, those children can confide in and find that peace in. So whatever comes of that, hopefully it be the best.
So far, it's been very good. We've had a couple, and again, we're not trying to tell the parents, hey, this is what you have to believe. All we're asking is, when your child is working with this child, just be respectful of that child's belief, whether you believe it or not, or you feel that way or not. Please don't treat them any differently. And if they want to go by he, say he. If they want to go by they, say they.
Right.
And that's all we're
Just
asking.
respect.
Just a tone of respect. And we've had that. And I think it's just from years of working with these individuals and, again, creating that safe environment where everybody knows they cross that threshold, they're loved, they're supported, and they're appreciated. And when they walk out the door, then their parents take over and can educate. We're just asking, treat them as you would want to be treated.
Absolutely. And I think that, that's a golden rule,
Yep.
And that's very black and white. Do unto others as you wish them to do to you. It's very simple. And so, turning to you, Mr. Hooks, after that deep discussion, I wanted to hit on something. So after Pride last year, after the Zanesville Pride, we had a kind of somber day shortly after.
Yes.
You want to talk about that a little and how that kind of affected us?
Are you talking about Thomas? Mm. Okay, so after last year's Pride, we were doing pictures, and a small child came up to me with his mother, and she's like, he is 7 years old, and he just today told his dad that he was gay. And the little boy just started sob crying. And he is like, I don't want people to not like me because of it, and, this is who I am. So his mom proceeded to tell me that she took him to counseling, to a psychiatrist. He went through months and months of evaluations, and the psychiatrist told her, yeah, he knows who he is. He's gay. So he is one of 5 children in his home, and his grandparents kind of push him away, don't want nothing to do with him. So I kind of took him under my wing, per se, and I, pick him up. We go do things. I take him shopping, let him be able to express himself for who he is and what he is.
I mean, his parents are fine with this, by the way.
Oh, yes. His parents are very fine with it.
They pretty much ask for, some guidance from Andy, and they're aware of how the family treats him at 7 years old for saying who he is, which is a very difficult situation for a 7-year-old. I say often that Aristotle said, give me a child until he's 7 and I'll show you the man, because whatever happens to this child emotionally, or physically for that matter, is pretty much what they take as a base in their brain makeup into adulthood until they learn that they can change all that. And that's a difficult process. If you've been abused or neglected or not loved, it can affect you for a very long time into adulthood. So I think it's admirable what you're doing for him, and with the consent of his parents are there often. I've been to the house, like they're great people, and he's going to help with Pride this year.
Yes. He actually has a shirt that says Sasha's assistant on the back of it. And he tells everybody he's in charge of Pride.
And Sasha is?
Me.
in female impersonation mode, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've been doing drag for 23 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah. 23.
Yeah.
This year makes 23.
Wow. Yeah, I'm retired. So with Pride this year, it's bigger than last year, and last year was pretty big. You want to give us some numbers and some stats on how big that was? And it is in Muskingum County. This is Zanesville Pride.
Yes. So a little bit about the Zanesville Pride. We started back 2 years ago, actually, in a parking lot. And there were 2 vendors, a couple of food trucks, and maybe about 65, 70 people that attended that day.
And that Pride was started by?
And the Pride was started by Kyle Johnson and Kristen Brown. They started this, and how I got involved was there was a post on Facebook that said, any local drag queens that would like to perform at Zanesville Pride. So, of course, I got on the phone and called my longtime sister, Desiree Diamond, Jeremy Payne. He was like, we got to go do this. We're from Zanesville. We have to represent. We've been here this whole time. So we went down. We did it. It was a nice day. There was no problems. You were there.
We had one speaker and a corded microphone on a front porch facing a parking lot.
Yeah. One of the old radios that have cassette players in the front with a microphone plugged into it and a house stereo speaker. But it worked. We made it work. We had a good day. It was a good turnout. The following year in February, Kristen notified me and was like, hey, do you want to take over Pride? Kyle's got some things going on. He's, in school and so on and so forth. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was immediately thinking, Pride is in June. This is February. We can't pull this off. What? No, you can't do a Pride. And of course, me, it's either all in or nothing. So I started reaching out to vendors and food trucks and people, and they just started coming in by the floods. So we ended up with 2 food trucks last year. Both of those sold out. They had to turn people away. We had about 41 vendors, and I would say roughly between 500 to 600 people that attended the event.
Very successful. Very successful.
We had drag queens from all over West Virginia, up towards Cleveland way. Of course, all of us old queens from Zanesville, we were all there. Pulled out a couple of young queens for their first time. We didn't discriminate against anybody. If they want to come out and have fun, we let them have fun.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And then immediately the day after, June 25th, I was like, okay, we have to start next year's Pride now, today.
She calls me 2 days before and said, you're going to have to come help me.
Oh, yeah, 2 days before the event. I
got all these vendors. I got these food trucks. You got to get up here and help me make sure this goes. And so I went up, spent the night before, and we tackled it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. We we went up. We had to meet with the news, WHIZ, and Times Recorder that night, and then we had to go home, get everything ready, get everything loaded. Between the 2 of us, literally, we packed everything into both of our vehicles. And my mom's car too. There was 3 cars. Hauled it all down there, set it all up. So here I am in half drag, trying to be on a 12-foot ladder, hanging things from the pavilion. It was quite interesting and fun to.
So that has moved on to this year, and we have how many?
So as of today, I just added 3 more today. We are at 108 vendors as of today, from the 41 last year. We have 8 food trucks. We have a Coffee Island bar coming. We are going to do live entertainment this year. That'll be the first time.
Haley Bundy
will be there to open.
With the national anthem and a set of her music.
Yes. Haley will open with the national anthem. and then she'll do an hour set.
And you'll do the opening drag number, of course.
Yes.
And we'll have DJ music, and then an intermission of DJ music announcements. I'll announce, different sponsors and things like that. And he'll speak at some times, and then we'll move on with more drag in another segment, and then another segment towards the end of the night. Because we are going until probably about 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we have the place until 9, but probably about 8 we'll start wrapping it up because we have to go straight from there to an after party.
So kickoff is at 12 noon at the Zanes Landing Park, and then we'll wrap up about 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a long day. 84 degrees it says right now. No rain.
Right.
Keep it there.
Yeah, just to touch a little bit more on this year. So after last year, we started a 501 nonprofit, and Equality Ohio is our fiscal sponsor for that. And the amount of people that have donated to this year's Pride is beyond amazing. So I've had a lady reach out to me from Michigan who is in charge of 182 McDonald's in the greater Ohio area, and they're all franchise owned. So every owner from the 182 McDonald's puts money into an account, and once a year they pick an organization to give that money to, and they gave it to us this year. So we're still waiting on final numbers to come through and everything on that, but I'm sure it's going to be a very nice chunk of money. They also donated lanyards for the volunteers for the day. Local people in the community have just reached out and, I want to do this, I want to do that. Especially Corey Van Dyne and Jack Back, they have really, just put all they have into this year's Pride. Ready to step up, ready to get it in whatever we need. They're right
and
there.
they did the same for the Art Fest,
Yeah.
and they're actually here today. Boys, thank you.
And I believe Corey might pull himself out of retirement this year and bring Rebecca Randalls back for Pride. We're working on it.
Come on, Rebecca.
The one and only drag daughter I've ever had.
Becky!
I haven't seen you.
Get him, Mary.
Please. What about drag kings?
The cat just meowed to
I
her.
had a drag king that got a hold of me last year, and I reached out to him, and I haven't heard back yet. But, yeah, we'll accept them.
Yeah.
Right up to the day. We'll take vendors. We'll take whoever right up to the day. They can come that day.
Because I can't rock a pair of spike heels, but by golly, I can don a tuxedo.
Okay. Get it, Daddy. That would be so fun. Yeah, it's all about having fun. That's why we forged forward. That's why, Andy was like, yeah, we're going to need a 501. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. We're getting a little too big here. So, and we're just going to keep doing it. And the stern wheel's open.
The stern wheel is running.
Mickey Mouse and his friends will be on the stern wheel. You can book rides during the day of Pride.
Like actual
no.
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah,
Well,
Mickey Mouse will be there. Well, the character
To be
Mickey Mouse will be
determined.
there.
Buy a ticket.
So for tickets on that, you have to book them 48 hours in advance at the Welcome Center. And as of Monday, there were only 11 tickets left out of the 41 seats. So they're going.
Oh. Big wheels keep on turning.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not getting on that boat. I got stuff to do on land.
You'll be busy.
We're going to do a podcast from the stern wheel eventually. We're going to have like a catered podcast on the stern wheel. Yeah. We'll call it the Yacht Club episode.
We can make it happen.
Yes.
They're all about it.
That'd be so fun.
Live entertainment. Maybe
Oh.
Turning Tides could play on the boat.
Ooh, turning tides
Just
on
saying.
the water. Turning tides, turning real tides.
Turn real tide on the water.
Dun,
Can they do
dun,
smoke
dun.
on the water, though?
Oh. Yep. Smoke on the water. Fire in the sky. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. Right. Back to the gay stuff. So,
Okay.
you guys just met today,
Yes.
Andy and Marybeth.
Well, I think we've met before, but
We've met in passing a few times.
Dark Alleys. Margo, what's going on? Sugar Mama.
hi, Margot. I love your face.
We love Margo.
I know, right?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh.
Oh, sure. Now I'm chopped liver.
She did.
She's got a new.
She's like, I don't
I
care
knew,
about all this gay stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Margo. I appreciate it.
We love Margot.
We love you. Margo's actually, so we have the the body butter lady Trisha in the audience, and Margot is related to Trisha. It's her aunt. Yeah.
We love your aunt.
Yeah, they're
Like,
both.
I adore your aunt. I miss her on the VCB
They're
board.
both some spicy women. Hey, Trisha's got spicy nuts if you want some.
You need spicy women in your life.
You do. And
And
spicy,
I need spicy men in my life.
You know, it's good. It's good to keep life
Spicy.
flavorful. Yeah, spicy. I like spicy. Some
I
people
like
get
spicy.
heartburn, so I try to stay away from it. So the goal, I think, for all of us, all three of us sitting here at this table, and probably the audience too, is to really just teach people how to love more and to love a little more blindly. Wouldn't you say? I think it's not about forcing you to accept or forcing you to understand or forcing. It's just about getting you to a place where you have some compassion.
There's just so much hate in the world for everything. You know, there's people that hate dogs. There's people that hate cats. There's people that hate Mary. Why? Life is too short. If Danny's short life taught me anything, is life is too short, and your rock and your support system could be gone in an instant, and you're left with a gaping hole in your heart. Why?
Yeah.
Just love, and if you can't accept, leave them alone.
Right.
They're not hurt. You aren't hurting anybody. My friend Levi's in the audience. He would give you the shirt off his back if you needed it right now. He has done so much for me. I can't even begin to thank him.
And that's what it is. That's what it's about.
All it's about.
That's what it's about.
So,
He said, does she want me to take my
Yes.
shirt off?
Yeah, right on Main Street.
right on Main Street, and tell Sean to come down in his towel.
Yeah, that is what it's about, you know. And like Turning Tides, you guys are very accepting and loving, and you guys are in the audience, and we appreciate you guys. But it's people like this. It's we have Veronica in the audience from Small Moments Photography, and like Corey and Jack and Trisha and Margot. But these are all people. Our producer Casey, everybody loves everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's very simple to live a life of just acceptance, love. If it's not for you, just like the people that left the theater, you can walk away. You don't have to throw hate. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to degrade. You don't have to give an opinion.
Don't go.
You just walk out. And I have to give that couple props for coming and giving it a shot. You know, Denise, when she does her show, she does nothing. You know, I hear all the time from the other side
She's
of,
tasteful.
well, you know, they're reading pornography to kids, or they're
No, not Denise.
doing pornography. They're raving their private part. And I'm like, come see a show put on by
Right.
Denise.
It's
I
theater.
had less on than she did on stage.
Well, that's normal.
Well, you know.
I promise
you got it, flaunt
that
it.
most drag
You
queens
know?
aren't going to be
No.
half naked. You don't
No.
want to see a half naked drag queen. It's not pretty.
And when they're reading to kids, they're not reading the Kama Sutra. They're reading Little C-Spot Run. I mean, it's not about getting in their face and teaching kids that mommy and daddy aren't right. No, they're just coming in and wanting to entertain and read to kids. That's all it is.
I think, not to get too much into my personal views, but I believe drag is a performing art. And that performing art could be reading, it could be doing anything,
It's no different than when I take the stage at CPAC. There's many times we don't have enough men in our audience or in our cast.
Mm-hmm.
So I will double as a guy. So we did Addams Family. I was Uncle Fester.
But that's
of course,
been happening for ages, though,
Uncle
right?
Fester is a person of no specific sexuality. That's one of the lines in the show. But yes, it is. When Shakespeare's time, I would have never graced the stage as a woman. It was all men.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not unusual to cross over and overlap roles. And I see it as no different. So when I pose the question to the opposers, would you have a problem with me dressing up as Uncle Fester and reading to the kids? The answer is no. And I'm like, why?
Why? Yeah.
Well, you're not sexualizing kids. I said, well, neither is the drag queen. Well, how do you know? Because I've sat there and watched it. The school isn't going to allow inappropriate material to the kids.
Yeah.
So I just wish people would give it a chance. And if it's not your cup of tea, walk away and recognize it's not your cup of tea. But don't stand in front of a theater or prevent kids from seeing that there is more to life than what that round peg you're trying to shove them in a square hole.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a soapbox. I get on a little bit.
You know, that's fine. You know, you're free to speak here and you're safe to speak here. And, you know, we're allowed to express ourselves and be heard. I think the important part is that we all just try to understand each other through the politics, through the drag, through the, you know, sexuality, through gender. That's my thing, is like, I just eat, sleep, and breathe like preaching. Try to understand. Just try. Because you, like, my thing is, like, when I see somebody like being cruel, I no more do I let myself say like, what's wrong with them? I started telling myself, like, you have to say first what happened to them. Because you only give out what you have inside. And if you're hurting people, somebody hurt you deep down in there. And you don't know how to love yourself. That's why you can't love other people. And so therefore, I, in turn, have to have compassion for the person spewing hate. And that's a difficult pill to swallow. So I think it's part on us, too. We can't just say, like, there's so much hate in the world, and they hate us, and they hate us. You'll never hear me say that. I don't preach that because I don't believe that. And I believe what you think about your life and what you choose to believe pretty much becomes your reality. So I believe we have some power yielded through the universe over what comes and goes in our lives.
I watch way too many like Darman videos on Facebook, and a lot of the recent message is the good you put in the world will manifest back to you.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. I give unselfishly. I would give you the shirt off my back right now, except for it's my Danny shirt, so I wouldn't. I'll go get to my car and get you one. But
I get the metaphor, though. You're a good person. And you'll help anyone.
I have always been that way. Always. Margot's back here shaking her head. And so was my mom. But my mom raised me that way.
Yeah.
I was raised in that environment to give. You know, my dad was a EMT. My brothers, it's just, I was blessed with a loving family that gave to me.
I mean,
and taught me to.
Andy, and no coincidence, is sitting here too. He was raised pretty much the same way. His mother is like, she treats me like her own child when I'm there. You know, she is a lover, and he was raised like that. So he in turn is like that, compassionate, loving, kind, has given many people the shirts off his back to run around shirtless. Andy, do you feel like we're making progress in the world? How do you see things?
I personally feel like there is progress that's made. Recently, we may have taken a few steps back.
In terms of what do you think would be the causing factor of taking steps back, if you would elaborate?
So, just looking back at all the anti-gay and anti-trans bills that have been brought about in 2022, there were 65. So I think in a whole, the world has come, closer to each other. There is more acceptance than there was back in the day. More and more people are getting involved in events for the LGBT community, but, there's still that little bit that we have to get over. And a lot of it focuses on the trans community. I don't know why we have so much light and so much going on with them right now. But as far as making progress, I feel we've made progress.
Yeah, I think it's been a net positive. There's always going to be whatever's publicized the most and whatever's in the spotlight the most, aka trans issues. They're going to get criticized the most. It's territory. It's how it works. That's media, and so I get it. It makes it seem like it's very blown out of proportion. And it could be, but it sure is based on the actual amount of people, what's the word I'm looking for? The ratio to heterosexual, gay, lesbian, trans people are a very
small.
Small minority.
Yes, they're a small minority. And so therefore, I'm looking for the word. What is the ratio word? Oh my gosh, I know what I'm thinking about. What's the word, Levi? It's population. Yeah. So they're a tiny demographic, and so whenever they're targeted, it's just a small group of them. So they target a bunch at one time. It makes it seem like it's happening crazy, and it's not. But when it happens, it's serious cases. Lives are on the line, and then it puts fear into people's minds because it is publicized. And so then the small group of trans people that are out there, they see that, and then they're in fear all the time. And, not to get too dark and gloomy, but shortly after Pride last year, we had somebody attend Pride who was a trans person, and we had to have a memorial service about a week after Pride because they took their life when their parents cast them out of their home. And so it was a very dark moment for all that. So we had a memorial service at the park right where we had Pride, and a lot of people showed up. It's crazy because it's real. It's really real. Young people who don't know how to process or deal with feeling like their world's ending, and this child took their life, and I hate seeing that. It's a very disgusting thing. It hurts.
We just did the Coshocton County Pride this past weekend, and after the performances, a lady came up to me. She's like, I want to thank you for coming to the county. I want to thank you for doing this. By the way, the Zanesville Drag Queens made history in Coshocton, and we did drag for the first time there this year. But she said, this means a lot to me. And then her eyes start watering up, and I'm like, what's happening? She's like, 10 days ago, my 16-year-old trans son killed himself because he was bullied at school. She said the day before, he dressed all, like he wanted to, put his trans stuff on, went to school, had a really great day, and the next morning committed suicide.
Yeah.
So it's very young people.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, mental health is a real deal. We thought it was just like our depressed Aunt Becky, because she lost her job at March Electric or whatever. But it's getting deeper, and COVID, I think, induced a lot of that with having us trapped inside all the time and a lack of social interaction.
They're being bullied, and I've seen both sides of the suicide equation. I've been on the side of wanting to do it, and then, of course, Danny. If anybody's watching and struggling with that and even remotely contemplating that, reach out to me, please. I still haven't watched Danny's final video, and I never will be able to because I don't know if I want to hear the sadness in his voice. And 2020 was probably the worst year of my life for that very reason. I was isolated and lonely and living with cats and love my cats. But mental health struggles are awful. And then you add on the LGBTQ part to the equation, just compounds it even worse. And that breaks my heart. That little boy took his life.
Yeah, it's tough, man. All ages are affected, and it's, gosh, I couldn't imagine life without my friends and you people. You know what I mean? My whole group that's around me all the time, and I feel so blessed to have that, and like to think of not having that and having to face everything I face every day and not be able to like send you guys messages or call one of you, or you know what I mean, or have you back when I was trans and in my whole get up and doing my thing like a chicken wing,
Are there pictures?
Make him save me, or him make Corey save me, or it was just you can't live without relationship with friends and people that love you and support you and want the best for you. And so feeling alone, I don't know that feeling. I've always had people around me, and I'm blessed because it's probably saved my life in the long term. And I have invasive people. They're like, if you don't pick up, we're coming in. So,
I will be one of those people.
Right. But that's the people you want around, And young people don't often get to build that strength and bond in that. They don't get that soon enough.
Right.
And they don't make it across that cusp. So, yeah. God bless those kids. And hopefully we keep making progress that we're making. And as long as people like us, of an older generation, as long as they let us out of Shady Pines like they do tonight, we're going to be fine. We can get out here and talk about it.
Okay, Sophia.
So yeah, that's the deal. I think we just keep staying active, keep staying positive. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, and I always try to take things into a positive light. And so before we close this out, now that we've covered some stuff, give me some positive news. What do you have going on in the area for Pride Month? Do you have anything? Your plans?
We're not quite there yet in Guernsey County as far as Pride activities. My goal is to eventually have a Pride event in downtown. But what we do have instead is the National Road Bike Show and Rib Fest. So we'll have motorcycles, a beer garden, live entertainment. Unfortunately, Turning Tides didn't get to me fast enough. We already had our lineup booked. However, I am looking for musical entertainment for the Fall Festival in September. So I'll be reaching out. I still have the message. But
they just opened for OTEP, which is
right?
big deal. Big deal.
So we do have some fun stuff coming up. We've wrapped up the ducks, the downtown duck hunt, and then we've got a gnome out right now.
There's my duck right there.
There's his duck.
She let me keep it.
I did, because it was a unicorn. I picked the unicorn just for you. But we do have a lot of activities for various demographics and ages. But the ultimate goal is I want a Pride Festival. I want a Pride Parade, because I want Flaggett's, Ohio in downtown Cambridge. That's a goal. I'm just saying.
Is that it?
The Flaggett's.
The Flaggett's.
They're from Columbus.
Flaggettes?
Flaggett's.
No, the Flaggett's.
They're a flag corps of.
I'm not gonna, I feel like I'm going to get kicked off the internet for saying that word.
No,
I'm
they're an
scared.
actual group.
No,
They're an
they're an
actual
actual
group
group.
from Columbus.
Okay.
Their group. FLAGGOTS.
I'm not gay enough for this.
It's super easy to get the resources into your county that'll help you get it started. And you have somebody here that, could do it. Right there.
Hey.
Well, see, the problem with him is he was on my board, and then he got this great job, and he left my board, and now he's too busy right now renovating this beautiful house and spending time with his husband. So
He said it's almost done. He'll be back.
as soon as he wraps up all of those little projects, then we're working on it.
Right. And it wasn't anything to get Trans Ohio, Equality Ohio, Equitas. They're all involved in Muskegon County. So
Now I know a few more drag queens.
Yeah, and I have personal contacts with everyone. We'd be more than happy to pass them on and share, because they want to come out to small communities.
Yeah, they're very eager to be involved and to support. So,
and maybe if not downtown Cambridge, downtown Byesville.
You never know. They did just have the Art Fest. And
I'm really
festive.
sad I missed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was riding a carriage all day. It was hard, dressed as a princess.
It must be hard to be a princess
It's
riding
so
a carriage. Ugh.
Right?
The audacity. Come up into my unicorn palace and talk about riding a carriage.
Next year, we'll
We got to put a horn on it.
Yeah.
All right, if there's a horn on it.
We can put a horn on it.
Yeah,
There
deal.
was 2, so we'll have to have 2 horns.
Done. Okay. We need a horn maker.
I can make that
That's
happen.
another episode.
I can make it happen.
Andrew, what do you have going on? We have the Pride event coming up June 24th, of course.
Yep.
What else you got?
Right now, that's mainly my focus is the Pride Fest.
Thank God.
Yeah. The only other thing is the position that I applied for with the Department of Health. So we're waiting to hear back from that. I talked to them today. I applied for the 6th district.
Woohoo!
state
Little
representative
Freudian
for the
slip
Department
the
of
tongue
Health.
there.
Yeah.
Sweaty balls.
I applied for the
Well, we'll do the six of them at one time. No. Yeah, to help get
that's
more.
later.
Well,
Oh,
Corey's in town, so we don't have to worry about that.
kicked off the internet today.
To bring more resources in, actually would be representing 10 counties in the state of Ohio to help them get more resources. And I do believe that Guernsey County would be one of them. So you would see more of my face down here.
Yay.
It's practically like you didn't even get a job. They just pay you for
Right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be great.
That's
and
my job.
Yeah, it will be fun. And you're based in Muskingum. You do 10 surrounding counties, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, we'd probably be one of them, which will be awesome. And that'll give more connections, more resources. And then we're already connected, so that just ties our chain longer and makes us a little stronger.
What about you, Geno? You posted something fantastic.
Yeah. Got my oil changed.
What you do in your private life?
So I did make a post today that I accepted a full-time position with AVC Communications, which is very exciting. Yay! No details yet, but in the coming weeks, month, we will hear the breakdown of what I'm going to be doing at AVC, which is pretty exciting. I know a little, but I'm sworn to secrecy, and it's going to be fun. It's going to. They're letting me be me, and that's the thing I'm most excited about. When they look at you and they tell you, "I don't want you to quit telling your story," that's what got you here. I want you to embrace your authenticity, just like you have. I mean, I could have cried like a little brat. You know what I mean? Like
I would have.
Oh, I was like, you guys don't know how grateful I am. I was a crackhead, and you're gonna put me on the radio, like. So hey,
They
you
put
know,
me on
but
the
it's
radio.
they're so non-judgmental. It's like you can't explain. I can't explain it. I'm still like kind of. It's not even set in.
Well, that's a step forward for our county, is to recognize that individuals are not the past mistakes they made. You can overcome those mistakes. You can learn from those mistakes. You can arise and look at all the great things you do now. I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. And if I can change, anybody can change. I honestly, like, you guys, I mean, they knew me, but, like, you didn't know me back then. She didn't know me back then. Casey, you guys didn't know me back then. You wouldn't have given me the time of day.
Not on the radio.
But now, like, everybody comes and gathers at my place. It's like,
you have unicorns and elephant ears
but
and neon lights.
I honestly think anybody can do what I did. You just have to believe in yourself. And that's the difficult bridge to cross, is gaining confidence after you've destroyed your whole life. And that comes through repetition and following up with what you say you're going to do, even in the face of fear and adversity.
Well, I think one of the most strong things you ever did was giving up crack. You know, my grandparents were, I loved them, alcoholics. My uncle used drugs, and he struggled to get off of them. So just to do that speaks volumes of your character.
Yeah. And I didn't go to rehab, you know. I
Try to make me
chased
go
pigs
rehab.
on the internet. It's a long story. But we had pigs on my grandpa's farm, and I was taking care of them. And
You promised you weren't going to tell that story.
it tried
about
to
me.
kill me. Shut up.
I have a video.
Yep.
I've heard that about you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Not of me.
Gonna get kicked off the internet.
Several videos of Geno.
So, yeah, life is, the future looks bright. And I always say that, and I'll never quit saying that, because I honestly believe that. And if we get enough of us that are looking in a positive direction, we're not going to let anyone pull us back down to the darkness. You know, we're not going to let anyone pull us off track. We have a focused group of many, many, many people, and they're all driving the happy train to paradise, you know. And we're all driving. We all get up and Toot, 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 little choo-choo. Like, what do you want? We don't have any cookies, sweetheart. Quit honking. Oh, here
I won't say what I
they come.
usually say.
It ran through my mind. That's why I just started humming a nursery thing. Hi there. So, yeah. But literally, we all just stay in a positive direction. That's the key. You know, it sounds simple because it is. Right?
Absolutely.
You don't have to give a reaction every time somebody says something. Walk away.
Sometimes that's the best.
Any closing arguments?
Nope, I'm good.
Any closing arguments?
Just be kind.
That's it.
Be kind.
Can I ask you real quick, because I'm curious, because I don't know the whole story. Danny was to you...
My best friend in the whole wide world. Met him at a Civil War reenactment. We instantly became friends. I was one of the first people he came out to. And we just were inseparable. When my husband died, he was right there for me. When I lost my job, he was right there for me. When I was fighting cancer, he was right there for me. And he didn't teach me how to live without him. And it's been really hard.
Yeah. Well,
So he was my rock. When I needed to complain, that's who I called. When I needed to hear a sweet voice, that's who I called. So now I have his cat, who is a feline form of him. He's a sassy diva that knows it. And I have that living testament to just what a wonderful person he was.
and not to let it go unmissed, just from what you said here tonight, you have all of his love and compassion that
And a
he
cat.
showed you. You know, you have that within you, and you give that to people every day. You know, it's taught you to love more, you know, with no boundaries, and to teach people and show people that.
And to be more open-minded.
Yeah.
You know, he loved without bound. He loved anybody. He didn't meet a stranger. I mean, he rose to almost be the chief of police in Mayberry, basically, Dresden, Ohio.
Wow.
And when they held the memorial service, that entire town showed up to show their love of this individual.
That's amazing.
They didn't see the rainbow flag. They saw Danny Harlow. And that's the world I would love to see is, no, he wasn't perfect, and he had a temper like you wouldn't believe, but the compassion and the love, that's the world I would love to see. And if nothing else, that's what I want to give to the world, is that through Danny Harlow.
I love that. I knew that I needed to pick on that some more, so I'm glad that you elaborated, because I want people to understand that, you know, it's important. Love is important. And that's why we're here. That's why we're sitting down here. That's why we're forging forward. June 24th is going to be an amazing experience.
You know, and actually, we had a very nice sponsorship in Danny's name this year for Pride.
I saw
That
that.
came
Yeah.
locally
You
here
sent
from
that to me.
Byesville.
I saw that, and it really honestly made me cry,
Yeah.
because he would be so happy. He spoke a lot about Pride and wanting Pride festivities in and around the area, and it was just who he was.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. A lot of people knew Danny.
I miss him.
His legacy lives on, and we have to go on and do good things in his name.
Yep.
And just like that donation, just like us sitting here having this conversation, there's a Danny in your life somewhere.
So whoever did that, thank you.
There's a Danny Harlow in your life somewhere. So love them, cherish them, and embrace them while they're here, because tomorrow's never promised. And stick up for your friends.
And if there is
Some of them-
someone that doesn't have that, I will be that person.
So I think it's the same with this whole crowd, a bunch of lovers. Even you, Joshy.
Hi, Joshy.
Free mom hugs for everyone.
That's right. All right, guys. June 24th, we have the Zanesville Pride Group Festival. It is held at Zanes Landing Park in Zanesville by the water. There's only a few tickets, 11 tickets left for the stern wheel.
As of Monday, there were 11. I don't know
As of
what's
Monday,
left
there
now.
were 11 tickets left for the stern wheel. You can get those online on Facebook. You can check out the stern wheel. It's on the Facebook Zanesville Pride Group page, and Mickey Mouse will be on there. And we have all kinds of festivities at the Zanes Landing Park. June 24th from noon to 8 p.m. Come out and see us.
It's a free event.
And yes, it is free to the public. There is no cover charge. There's nothing. Obviously, the food trucks are purchase and vendor things you can purchase also, but there's also a bunch of free rainbow-colored stuff that everybody brings to give out. So you get it like bags and pins and this and that and da-da-da-da. So it's fun. Come out, have a good time. Also, a shout-out to the Byesville Firemen's Festival. It's happening June 24th and 25th, correct? Right?
Yes.
Or 23rd and 24th. So the 24th, same day as our festival, but we will shout them out because everybody's going to, make their way to everything that they want to go to. And Fireman's Festival is going to be on the 24th is going to be Adam Calvert that evening, right? Like 8 or 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is Adam Calvert. He's a local. He went to Nashville, pretty popular. So come see him. Check him out.
Tracy Blaine again.
Tracy Blaine will be there.
Is he?
Yes. You want me to go rip the flyer out of my window of my shop? Who else? We have E-Wade on the 23rd.
I love E-Wade.
Yeah, on Friday the 23rd, E-Wade Rodriguez. Friday, and okay. On Friday the 23rd, E-Wade Rodriguez, and who else? You have your phone? Can you pull? I get my phone. 1 second.
I don't know, but while they're pulling that up at the bike show, we'll have Tracy Blaine, Lock 17, Rattlebox, and BFH Band. They're a blues band.
And what's the date for that?
17th of June.
17th of June.
So we will be shutting down part of Wheeling Avenue for that, just so everybody knows.
Okay, so that's a main strip in Cambridge. Just for the bike thing.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it's so Friday, June 23rd. You have Sutherland, and they'll be on
Nice.
at 8:30 p.m. With special guest Tracy Blaine and Wade Rodriguez. Opening ceremony start at 5 p.m. That's for Friday, June 23rd. So then on Saturday, June 24th, you have Ohio native Adam Calvert with special guest Wild Heart, Bo Fawcett, and Levi Garrison, Brian Sweeney, and Haley Bundy. And they will all be on that evening, starting at 8 p.m.
That's a great lineup.
It's gonna be
Sutherland, woo.
It's going to be a great show, but we will be at Pride. And God bless all of you that go see the Fireman's Festival. We hope that you go and have a good time. Come see us at Pride, though, starting at noon. You're going to want to be there for the kickoff. You're going to want to be there for the national anthem. Haley will be singing that, and it's going to be a wonderful time. The kickoff, the beginning of the festival is where it's just so invigorating, right?
Yep. After Haley's national anthem, the first 13 minutes is going to be intense.
Yeah.
I promise.
It's going to be good.
Will there be glitter?
And fire.
All the important things.
Yeah. It's going to be silk. Never mind. You have to come see it. So, yeah, we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to get out of here before the sun goes down on us like Elton John, honey.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
The sun go down.